If you are thinking about moving to South Florida, if you're thinking about moving to Palm Beach, Florida, and you're considering new construction, well, this is a community you're going to want to check out. Welcome to Arden in Loxahatchee / Wellington, Florida. My name is Ray Fernandez. I'm with Living in Palm Beach, Florida, powered by eXp Luxury. Welcome.
The end of Arden. Arden's been around 7 years, as we'll talk about a little bit later, and we are getting to the end. I say the end because literally the builders are basically clearing out. Everything afterwards is just going to be resales. Here at Living in Palm Beach, Florida, we do both new construction and resales. We have found, however, that in dealing with people relocating to this area, in general, most people who are coming here are leaning towards new construction. I can't blame them. The quality of the builds are a lot stronger. In new construction, the codes are a lot more stringent today than they were years ago. You will save a ton of money when it comes to insurance rates. But I want to take it to the map and show a little bit about Arden. Now, going way back when, Arden was in the middle of nowhere. People are like, how did you, we'll talk a little bit about that later, how did you put something so far out there? A little bit east of Arden is a place called Lion Country Safari. It is like a little jungle where they let the animals just run wild, and you can drive through it. Of course, it's contained to a certain extent, but we went camping there, my son and I, and you could hear the lion one night, years ago, you can hear the lions literally roar. So this was in a place way out west. Now it's not like that. It's been developing, and it's definitely, of the three master plans, this is definitely one of the most unique master plan communities in all of South Florida. Here is the 10,000-foot view of Arden. It is, so people often ask, how close am I to the beach? Here it is, 20-mile bend. That'll tell you exactly where it is. It's 20 miles from the beach. It is on Southern Boulevard, which is the best road east to west in this whole area, in this part of South Florida. You can go right to the West Coast really easy. This is sort of the last stop before you head to the West Coast, where there's civilization. Everything west of here is very rural. But let's zoom out and see where we are on the bigger picture. I think that'll be interesting as we zoom out. You have Lake Okeechobee right here. This is the biggest lake in Florida. It is a real lake. As we zoom out further, you could see we're in Southeast Florida. We are, I've said this many times, Pensacola to Key West. If you were to drive this, you're looking at about a 14-hour ride. It's a big state. We are also now one of the most populated states. When people say South Florida, often they don't necessarily mean like here. Naples is the west coast of Florida. It's very different there. I'm not going to put it down, but it's a different kind of crowd. When people talk about South Florida, looking at this area, in Palm Beach, which is where we're talking, the big city where people hang out, I don't care where you live, you will be going to West Palm Beach if you live in this area. There's a lot to do there. It's the 120,000 people live there. It is the cultural capital, it's the cultural center of the area. And briefly, on the master plan communities that we are working, that where all the new construction really is here. Westlake, Avenir. You can tell they're so far west compared to most of the stuff because there's no other land. And last but not least, the community we're talking about right here is Arden. As most of you know, my name is Ray Fernandez. I am with Living in Palm Beach, Florida. I say this every week. We help people relocate to this area. We help people understand what this area is all about. 18 years ago, my family and I relocated to this beautiful part of the world we call sunny South Florida, and we haven't looked back. Today, we truly find an honor to help people, perhaps like you, do the exact same thing. So if you're thinking about moving to this area and you're considering and wondering what it's like living here in South Florida, and you want to ask questions from people who've actually done it before, well, there's a few ways to get a hold of us. Down below is our email address. That's one great way. Also on the screen, you see our phone number. You can either call or text that number. But literally two of the best ways is in the description and the comment section. There's a link. Click on that link. What that'll do is that'll set some time for us to speak either through a phone call or through a Zoom, whatever way you feel most comfortable. In any case, we have your back when it comes to relocating to here to sunny South Florida. Let's zoom back in. So this is an older map. And so again, Southern Boulevard, there used to be absolutely nothing here. Let me just quickly go along Southern. Once you get here, this is sort of Royal Palm Beach in here. This is actually, this is the amphitheater, a lot of good concerts here as well. But in this area, there's a Costco, there is a ton of stuff. All this used to be nothing in between. Now, since Arden in the last 7 years, it is growing big time. This area around it is Loxahatchee, very like big pieces of land. People who buy houses there have like an acre and a half, and they build their homes. It's in non-HOA communities. If you're interested in a non-HOA community, that is something we can help you with. But let's look at this crazy place we call Arden. These two main lakes, or really ponds, make up what we call Arden. And this is what's one of the highlights of Arden. This is what makes Arden, is this ridiculous clubhouse. This is the centerpiece of Arden. You could see here, whoa, hang on. They have, this is their clubhouse. They do events in this clubhouse. There's a gym down below here. There's a fireplace room in here. There is a splash pad for kids. What I like about this pool is this is a resort style pool. When you see it, I tell you, when we bring clients to look at this place, when you come through this part and you go on the terrace here, you walk in through this high terrace and you look down, it is sort of breathtaking. Almost everybody is taken back when they view it for the first time. Up here is the tranquil area. We'll talk about that later. If you want to read a book and get away from all the noise, it's not perfect exactly, but for the most part it is. This is the tranquil area, and this is exactly where you'll be able to do that here at Arden in Wellington, Loxahatchee, Florida. So later in this video, I'm going to talk about walking into the sales center. Don't walk into the sales center. I tell you guys that all the time. Don't go in there without independent representation. It's a mistake. If you walk into these sales centers on your own, without independent representation, typically the builders will not let you get it later on. That's just the way they work. You need to be there with your realtor on the first visit in order for us to help you. And the cost out of your pocket is nothing. It's the builder who pays us, and they're happy to do so because they want people, and they want companies like ours living in Palm Beach to introduce perhaps people like you to their beautiful communities. The other thing about independent representation is we need to be there on the first visit, and we'll introduce you to the builder. But it's not just that. We are unbiased. If we don't think this is the right thing for you, we're going to tell you. If there are resales out there in this community, and there are resales there, and we think that might be a better value, we're unbiased. We'll help you that. We do existing homes as well. If we think Westlake, which is a similar community to Arden, is a better community, better fit for you, it's not a better community, but better fit for what you're thinking, we're going to help you. Lennar is right now, the way Arden works is they are a spec builder, so you need to have a short time frame. We can help you. If that's not you, we can help you look at options. Again, we need to be there on your first visit. We will be there throughout the whole process, from the beginning to closing, for your inspections. We can if you're out of town, you want someone to take pictures, and we've done this many times for people, for families. If you want us to take pictures of the progress, we're happy to do that. You want advice on your options. You want someone with advice on your pre-drywall inspection. We've done inspections for clients. Anyways, we're there throughout the journey, and we'd love to help you decide if Florida is the right place for you. As we zoom out a little bit, you could see this is the farm. We're going to show you the farm later. This is your farm. You don't really know what it is until you look at it from this kind of a view, a big view like this. But this is like the general store in here. They do events in here, and everything is grown in here. It's a pretty big farm, and they grow everything, spices and whatnot. If you're a cook, this is a great community. It's a natural gas community too. If you're a cook, a lot of people do appreciate cooking on natural gas. If you're a cook, this is something the community that I would think you would like. It's they call it the Agrihood after all. Zooming out more, I want to get you to see hook line. So we'll talk about this a little bit later. This is like before hook line circle right here. Before it was all built, this is what it looked like. Now they're almost down to here. Like they're almost like down close, like building the last of the hook line homes. It's the bigger pieces of property. It looks great. I mean, we've done some, this is another piece of property I want to show you. We've done some business along here, which is this bottom part here is Tackle Box Trail. Big pieces of property here. We're doing one now in here, which is on the other side of the lake. Maybe you might get a little bit of street noise from Southern Boulevard. You can put a pool in there and and do a water feature. It'll drown it out because it's not that bad really. But if you get a house on this side of Southern, you have a backyard that has an immense amount of common area behind it, and it looks like it's all your property. If you want a bigger piece of property, speak to us because I'd love to help you get a lot there, because there is truly a space that's unique to all of Palm Beach and South Florida. Continuing with the map, there have been sections that that builders have gone to. There was Kennedy Homes when it was one of the original builders. They actually went out of business, Kennedy Homes, and they sold their property to Lennar. There's D.R. Horton was there with some smaller homes. Kenco was one of the original builders, which is a high-end builder that did the first part of Hook Line Circle. And last but not least, GL Homes is now at this point just about sold out. At the time of this filming, there are literally 3 homes. By the time this airs, there'll probably be 0 left. We've sold a lot in there with GL. And they're the one downside, I always talk about the pros and cons of stuff. One of the cons when it comes to GL Homes in Arden is that if you want a lake lot, you're not going to get it there. You're not going to get that big lake, but they're a quality builder and they have some great homes. But that's how they divided everything up. When you're looking at when you're looking at the Arden, later in this video, we're going to go to this part, the northern part, this is the part where there's the only part that's left in Arden for sale. The new construction wise, and this is where the amenity center is, and we'll show you they're breaking ground. And I know the builder, when I meet with Lennar out there, they're not really allowed to say what's going to be out there, but I've heard from a lot of sources that there's going to be a lap pool there. I've heard from some people that, and it's not confirmed, but they're looking at like a second type of farm area. They're not calling it a farm, they're calling it something else, but it's going to be similar sort of concept. But this is where they're starting to where they're going to be. Like, this is the end of Arden. That's where Arden is going to end, the end of paradise. So right now in Palm Beach, there's really 3 places that people are looking at. This is the end of Arden. This is your last chance to get in and before the builders leave, and there's only existing homes. There is a trick to buying a home in this community. I know it. I've done a lot of business. We've done a lot of business in this community, and there's a certain seasonality to the community. And you want some guidance on what to do. What can I expect? Can I negotiate? So we can give you tricks and tips. And the builder's not going to be as forthcoming with this because they want to get more money. For us, we want to help fight for you, because at the end of the day, it's to helping you is our primary objective in helping you find a home, whether it's Arden or anywhere else in Florida. So let's go to the models. I don't really spend a lot of time in the models, generally speaking. There's a lot you can see online. Don't register online, because that's a whole other story. They'll set you up with someone. You just don't want to do it. The pricing's not always accurate. There's a reason for that. That's why you need guidance. Call into our office. I can tell you, the true prices, because those prices are sometimes actually lower than what you see there and many times higher. So we can give you guidance. We can give you guidance on that. But we're going to go to the models. We're going to go into a model called the Broadleaf. They have over 20 models there. So there's plenty to choose from. But again, we don't really focus so much on the models. It's the concept of Arden that we're looking to get across as we tour the model of Arden and everything else that Arden has to offer.
So here I am in the Broadleaf. It's one of the models that Lennar offers here in Arden. It is 4 bedrooms and a den. It's approximately 3,100 square feet. It's one of the decorated models here at Lennar. Currently they have 2 locations where they show homes. This is one of them. Depends on what kind of buyer you are. They offer single family homes, and they offer what they call twin homes, which is sort of like a villa, codename for townhomes. Those sell very well. They've got a lower price point. But having said that, I personally, living in Palm Beach, Florida, we seem to have more buyers in the single home family space, which is one of the reasons I am doing it here. Been in this model a long time. I'm going to do this with one of my friends, Alex. He works with the builder here, the only builder left, which is Lennar here at Arden. We are almost done. They are almost done. They are literally 80% sold, 20% more to go. They're in the process of one of the nicest streets in Arden, which is called Hook Line Circle. I was there just a couple days ago. That's construction there is ridiculous. But anyways, I'll use Alex to explain some of the process, what to expect between now and when Arden finally closes, which is going to be pretty soon. So we've been 7 years in the make. I didn't realize this. Talking to Alex a little bit earlier, 7 years in the making Arden has been. And again, we're only 20% left. And so we are going to, I want to have Alex has been here like from the beginning. He knows Arden like the back of his hand, probably better than anyone in the whole world. There's been many builders in and out. These guys are the only ones left. Their process is very different than the typical builder. And we have a map here that we're going to utilize as to what's left. Alex, take it away and introduce yourself.
Of course, that was a great introduction by Ray. I've known Ray for a very long time.
Thank you.
So I'm thrilled and always excited to work with him and his clients. But he said it perfectly, 7 years in the running. And wow, what a lot we have accomplished through the years. Not only did Loxahatchee, the city, grow tremendously, but Arden itself has continuing to grow. So I'm absolutely thrilled that we still are, 20% left, just about. And there's some great things that are happening in the neighborhood, such as a new amenity center, some brand new floor plans, which we're excited to roll out in the near future. But to kind of dive into what Lennar, how we operate, everything that we have to offer, I'm excited to tell you about. The one thing I always love to highlight, Lennar has been around since 1954. We're based out of Miami, so we're definitely a well-known South Florida builder, but we're absolutely nationwide, and we're probably the largest builder in the nation at this point, or at least one of them. And with everything that we have to offer, including Arden itself, I think you'll absolutely love it here and want to take advantage of it. The style and process that we are accustomed to is that we're always offering our quick delivery homes and our what's known as our inventory homes. We're not the typical builder where you have to wait a very long time, plan your life out years to come. We can sell you a brand new home now, and we could always promise what today's price would be for you to lock in on. That's the beauty of how we operate. More clarity, more straightforwardness. I could always quote a final price to you today with some wonderful incentives and promotions. Lennar is the best in the industry, in my opinion, to give buyers like yourselves a great incentive package to purchase with us.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. One of the things I wanted to make sure you guys picked up on, lots of times what I find there are a couple kind of buyers. The buyer who wants to come in, pick all their features. I want this floor, I don't want that floor, I want this, and that time frame normally takes about a year. That's not what you're going to get here. It's what you get is what they, like Alex termed, a quick delivery home. They're one of the best in the business when it comes to it. So if your time frame is further out, we could still meet here, Alex, you, me. We could still meet here, but remember, our conversation is not going to be about a home a year from now. It'll be more about what we have between now and the next few months. Alex, we see there's a map behind us. Why don't you show us a little bit about what's around? There's a lot of exciting things happening around Arden, especially at the end. Second amenity centers. So I'm going to turn around and maybe have you review some of the stuff over the map locally and what we're seeing here at Arden.
So to kind of cover what Arden has to offer, because that's what's really attracting all the buyers to be moving into here, it's the beauty and the charm of the neighborhood. The clubhouse is absolutely gorgeous, which I'm sure Ray's going to get to at some point on this video and show you how magnificent it is. You have an on-site property management company always here at your disposal to help answer questions. They're heavily involved, the neighbors in this community.
Now, I've already done the map section of the overall Arden, where we are, but here's drilling down into the map on a very localized basis and what Lennar's doing, and they have different collections. Alex, maybe you can tell us a little about the collections and point out on the map where these places are exactly.
No, of course. I mean, we've been building for that 7-year marker like we discussed, and each part of Arden has been developed in each year accordingly. Because of the amount of land that we own in the community, that brings a lot of different collections. The reason for the collections, it's for a different part of the community on design home site sizes. So, to give you an idea, our entry level would be our twin homes, which are kind of like our connected villas. Some call them a duplex, where there's only 2 together.
They're over here on this end. What price point are we looking at? When we look on twin homes, what are we thinking?
You're looking at about $550 and up. We always quote all-in price with the lot and upgrades. It kind of goes back to the fact that we are an inventory builder. We sell the home with a full price that we could promise you. So that is with some lot and upgrades, and the average price point is about $550 for those to about $650 because there's 2 different floor plans. So this section up along here is about $550 to $650.
Okay, and then you have the Providence, so you have the Arcadia, Stanton, all different collections and price points. Can you outline some of the price points in these collections?
Of course, yeah. The Arcadia collection is going to be our 48-foot wide, 0-lot home sites. That's going to be on the very northwest part of the community. You're looking at about $650 to about $750 price point for that collection. Then we are Providence collection, which we're in closeout right now for that area of the community, which is going to be on the northeast part of the neighborhood here. These are our 58-foot wide, 0-lot home sites. The average price point is about $750 to $850 right now for those. And then our Stanton collection, we're officially sold out of it. Hopefully this week we're going to sell our last one. But those were our 70-foot wide home sites that went from about $800 to $900. The Waterford collection, which is what I call the prize of the neighborhood. Those are the 80-foot wide home sites. They're also the only home sites that get built directly on the lake view in the neighborhood. These home sites are spectacular. Some of them go up to a half an acre in size, but quite nice. Not only is the view beautiful, but we have some nice privacy home sites that don't face the lake, which we would show here. I'll show you the zoomed in area there. We're almost on our last section, the last phase of that neighborhood. So please come and get them before they sell out. But as you see,
by the way, guys, this is like the cream of the crop. When it comes to Arden, this is like the place to be. The whole community is awesome. But if you want like a scenery overlooking the amenity center, the first amenity center, this is where people go, and your best stuff is right. Your best models are here in this collection, correct?
Yeah, quite large. The square footage, 3,100 square feet to 4,000 square feet. Like I mentioned, the home site sizes are fantastic for new construction. The view is spectacular. Price point, you're looking about $900 to $1.4 million. It's a bigger range only because of the different home site costs, as we charge a little bit more, obviously, to be on the lake versus not lake views.
Yeah, and to that point, I've shown homes in there. We've worked some homes in like ranches versus big hearts and whatnot. So the sizes do vary, and that's why that varies. But I always tell people, if you're buying in Arden, remember, you have $1.5 million homes here in Arden. And so if you're getting a deal at, let's say, less than that, the community, I feel, can sustain itself because you do have these sort of estate-type homes here on Hook Line Circle, which is the name of the road, here in Arden, in Loxahatchee / Wellington, Florida.
So a lot of internal comps, like Ray mentioned, so a lot of future growth. Will be able to stable those price points. Now, on the outside of the community, as we zoom back out, what's happening on Southern Boulevard, we're super excited for. There's already been plenty of commercial that's been built on the east part of Southern. And as you approach, there's even some land that's going to be for future residential, as well as some other commercial that's coming up in the near future. But finally, we broke ground on a brand new elementary school that is right in front of the neighborhood here, which everyone is absolutely thrilled about. It's a very charming neighborhood, so a lot of people drive their golf carts, which we absolutely love. I got a chance to wave to all my past homeowners that purchase from me constantly, just because they're always riding on that golf cart. And a lot of people are going to be riding their golf carts to that front elementary school.
So I get this question more often than not. Almost one of the top questions. How are the schools? I was always able to tell people asking about Arden that they're using Wellington schools, which are A-rated schools. Now they actually have their own school, like right on site. And my experience, I have 3 children, so I know what it's about. When I lived in New York, Alex is from the New York area as well. Right. So when I moved down here, and I say this in a lot of my videos, everyone said, don't move to Florida. The schools are terrible. You're going to big downgrade. It is such a lie. It's not true. I find that there's actually more choice when it comes to schools here. If you want to know more about the schools and what opportunity there is in terms of the schools and the options, whether charter schools or magnet schools, reach out down below. I'd love to have that conversation with you guys one-on-one.
Yep. And South Florida is far from transient anymore. So many people like yourselves are moving down to South Florida, putting their roots down, wanting to grow that family. And we're thrilled. I think the Arden would be a wonderful place to raise a family. We sell to multiple generations. I've sold to people's grandparents, aunts and uncles, mom and dad, brother and sister. So it's absolutely wonderful to see plenty of families, different generations living here. I love this school district. Imagine all this wonderful tax revenue that they built up through the years to roll out brand new computers and desks and different programs in this school. So it's absolutely something worth taking a look at.
And you'd mentioned the Southern Boulevard. Let's continue on that for a second.
Of course.
You've been here a long time.
Yes.
Been here since the beginning. That road really there was not much there originally. What have you seen between then and now when it comes to Southern Boulevard, and what's your expectations for the future?
No, yeah, 7 years ago, people couldn't believe that we were building this community out here. They used to joke around and say, you're out with the lions, because Lion Country Safaris are around the corner. But throughout the 7 years, it has transformed into something worth seeing and coming to live. Plenty of restaurants and commercial has already been taking place. But this land right to the right of Arden is already purchased by another builder in the future, which they already getting their plans approved. And in the front part of the neighborhood on Southern, it's already zoned for what's known as commercial and civic pod. So that's going to also bring maybe some other great options to run your errands, take your family out for a nice dinner, or even a civic pod could be defined as a library or a police department, a fire department. So it's not determined what they'll build, but it's already being worked on by that other builder. So there is plenty to come. There's another city that, a lot of people know called Westlake, which you guys living in Arden have access to, which is right around the corner, to be able to utilize that city for also shops and restaurants and your typical errands. Wellington is definitely a well-known city that was built a few years ago, which, is known for like that equestrian and polo. And as well as a very high-end mall, shopping plaza, and even more, something that's going to be built in the future is another outdoor shopping plaza in Wellington. City Place is known as our downtown district. They're going to do another style of City Place on the west side of Wellington, which you'll only be a few minutes away from.
Awesome. Now, while we're on the map, Alex, there's the amenity center now. Whether I've showed you the amenity center, or I'm going to show you the amenity center, what we have now, but there's a second one coming up. Alex, show us a little bit on what the plans are. I know there's only so much you can say because not a lot of it's really been finalized as to what's there in terms of amenities. but where is it on this map?
No, certainly. So it's right on the northern part of the lake here that we're planning on doing another set of amenities, which everyone knows Arden. Everyone knows how incredible the amenities are here. The existing amenity hub, which I know you'll be on the video in the future, is going to be located over here. And we have our soccer fields, our basketball courts, our tennis courts, pickleball courts. The trails are magnificent here. Everyone loves that farm rustic agriculture of the neighborhood where you get tokens all year long to take advantage of all the fresh fruits and vegetables. It's absolutely jaw-dropping, this clubhouse. And the next set of amenities is going to be equally as beautiful, and we're thrilled to roll them out for you all. So definitely reach out to Ray and myself to set up those appointments, because I can't wait to share with you the new amenity plans once I receive them, as well as these brand new floor plans that we're going to roll out for the last phase of the neighborhood.
I wanted to really briefly touch on that. So if you're interested in this neighborhood, and I'd love to work with you and help you decide on this community with Alex, reach out. Don't walk into the sales center on your own. Come with me. I'll help set that up. This way I can represent you. Now, the reason why I say this, in order for me to represent you, I need to be here with you on the first visit. Otherwise, as a builder, and it's not just Lennar that does this, but most builders do this. If I'm not able to be there on your first visit, you won't be able to get that independent representation. But I've said that in many videos before, but that's important. If you wanted to work together, the three of us, let's call it that, when it comes to working here and considering a place in Arden, in Wellington, and Loxahatchee, Florida.
And I look at Ray as part of my partnership, and he's one of the best in the industry, no doubt. And he really takes to heart what you're really looking for yourself, your family, your loved ones. And I know he's the right guy to find the right place. But stop by Arden. There's no doubt that is probably one of the most beautiful new construction communities in Palm Beach County. It has everything that you could imagine for your family and yourself.
So I'd like to stop here because this is a great angle for what's going on, what you see here. You've seen the video, but this is a great perspective. We're actually in the on the base of the pool, and as I was saying, we got cut off. We had technical difficulty. Let's walk again, Alex. This is a beach entry pool and the entry on the pool. And the reason I bring that up is if you move to Florida and you have young kids like I did when I moved down here, you will be invited to a lot of birthday parties. And if you want to be comfortable that they know how to swim, I really highly recommend getting swimming lessons. If you move to Florida, lots of times, and Alex will tell you a little bit about what they have back here. They have birthday parties literally in that room. What else do they use the clubhouse for exactly, Alex?
So the clubhouse, you're allowed to rent out for a per hour charge. It's a wonderful opportunity to host your own birthday party, wedding shower, gender reveal, baby shower. So you name it, I've seen it. I love seeing that happen. It really gives me a chance to see my homeowners kind of in their living, enjoying the community finally after they close. But you could utilize this clubhouse in many ways. You have the wonderful pool down below with that beach entryway, a splash pad for kids. On the north part, on top of the pool down below, you have a wonderful tranquil pool, a very casual feel with some beautiful cabanas to take in the sights, as well as a jacuzzi, wonderful barbecue grill station I always see some other parties take advantage of.
Well, so we were offline a second ago, and we were talking about the lakes. Alex, they have I hear lots of times from people that, well, the lake, you call them ponds, and technically are ponds. They're not like the lakes you see in Tennessee or in other parts of the country. They really are man-made ponds. And that's one of them right here, is down this way. I mean, I'll show you a little bit of B-roll of it. But they have two huge, I'll call them lakes for sake of argument, two huge lakes, one of which is a man-made lake, which you don't see too many of them, Alex, do you?
No, for sure. And, these lakes are enormous. They're beautiful. The one on Hook Line that we talked about previously in the video, those are the ones that the homes face with a beautiful direct lake view. But what I appreciate is the center lake that this master developer didn't put a ton of homes around. They wanted to be the main thing you see as soon as you pull into Arden's entrance. They put the amenities that surround that lake. That way, everyone in the whole neighborhood gets a chance to take in how magnificent these lake views are. Tons of trails, the farm that circulates, a new amenity hub, and that center lake is natural, I believe. Right.
Yep. Now, I always tell people that, Alex, that Florida is the fishing capital of the world. I know this is an ocean fishing, but people do fish on here, right? They stock this pond, I understand, pretty much every year. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, they're fully stocked. You could bring your electric boats out there. You could fish off the pier and the dock. Even if you don't participate, how cool is it just to pull into where you call home and see some boats out there fishing? Give a wave to the boats out there. Gives a wave to the golf carts that are driving around the neighborhood. You're going to feel right at home at Arden.
Awesome. So in a minute, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to for the farm. And the reason why I want to do that is, and I'm going to segue by saying this. They call Arden the Agrihood. Like they always say, you'll see signs around South Florida, welcome to the Agrihood. There is a country style to this community. In fact, if I remember right, you guys limited the amount of homes that were not country style, that you're only around a certain amount. So it definitely feels this way. And one of the reasons why people call it that is the farm is the only thing like it in the area that I know of. It's a working farm where you actually, as part of your HOA, get to stop by the farm once a month and pick up your fruits and vegetables. So let's head over to the farm. All right, so here we are at the farm, the Agrihood here at Arden. This is literally a working farm. There's a farm being put up in an Avenir, which is one of the other master plan new construction communities. But I suffice it to say, from what I've heard, it won't be anything like we are seeing here. This concept was originally performed here, and they have events here. You can grow, they have like a U-Picky, you can grow your own stuff here. And more importantly, you get a farm share. Tell us about the farm share, Alex.
Yeah, so you get tokens on a yearly basis, and you do get a lot throughout the year. It's not just a little bit of tokens that could barely get. You'll probably have more fruits and vegetables that you can handle. There's you-pick gardens for picking out fresh rosemary, basil, parsley, oregano, at will for any special dinner recipes that you have for the nighttime. There's even plans in the works to maybe even do another future farm or orchard on the northern part in the second phase of the neighborhood, which we're hopeful that will be around the corner. But Ray was right. They do even a ton of events here. They do trunk or treat for Halloween up along the parking lot. I've seen pumpkin, painting pumpkin contests with the kids. And they even host events here for kids to kind of see, or even residents to kind of see behind the scenes of this wonderful crops and everything that they grow. Even our floor plans, you'll notice that we correlate with the style of the community. We have floor plan names such as coriander, rosemary, tarragon, future ones called basil, lavender, sunflower, tulip. So even our floor plans want to take the charm, I guess, I keep using that word, but it really describes what this neighborhood is, that agrihood, that agriculture concept. Everyone loves that modern farmhouse, rustic feel. This is far from that Mediterranean, Spanish, Florida vibe that you're accustomed to. Come check this out. It's something different that most people absolutely love.
One of the things I can touch on a couple of points, but one in particular is that, so as you guys know, I work with a lot of people from out of state that are coming and considering to move down here. When everybody's new, like a lot of people are in Arden, it's so easy to meet people. So if you're coming from New York, New Jersey, Chicago, California, we have someone coming in from California this Saturday. When you have people coming from out of state and they don't know anyone, they can feel comfortable here. That, the amenity center we're just at, you come here on a Saturday, I promise you'll make 3 new friends easily. And then you'll meet someone here at the amenities. The other thing is, like we mentioned, the events. The other thing that's also pretty nice about what they do here is it's very, very golf cart friendly. So you can take your golf cart from your house. That's a thing here in Florida. You can take your golf cart from your house and drive it from your house into the amenity center in here to pick up your allocation for your fruits and vegetables. So if you want a neighbor that's really relaxed and a place just to enjoy life, Arden's the place for you. I'm actually in it's actually a general store now. So we walked in the little farm, and you could buy stuff here. their general store. It's pretty nice. They have a little big tractor back here. They still have that. Yeah, so and they do events back there. So one of the things, it's hot in the summertime, and it's the summertime here in Florida, and they don't really produce much here in the summertime, so it's a little bit more quiet. But in the cooler months, they will do events, as you might or not be able to see out there. They have tables set up. One of the many events that they host here at Arden in Loxahatchee / Wellington, Florida. So when I first started coming here to Arden, it was just there. On the other side of that big lake, that's the man-made lake Alex was telling you about. That's a man-made lake. One of the very few large lakes that big in the area here in Palm Beach area. By the way, I didn't mention this. I will in the map section a little bit, but that's where Southern Boulevard is, where you can go straight across to the west coast of Florida. But that was where we started here in Arden. Now that the newer part is this end, this is the second amenity center. Alex, it's going to be more or less here, and that's our 20% of Arden right about here. Is that right?
Yeah, the rest of the land that you see going forward, hopefully, is going to be about a 2-year to 2.5-year plan, give or take. I see dirt being moved, which is a great sign. That means the amenities are hopefully, the second set of amenities are on its way here, which I'm thrilled about, because now this future land that's coming, you're going to live right next to the next set of amenities. So, a lot of people want to be close, be able to walk to the pool areas or anything that the community has to offer. And even though you're on the north side part of the community, you're going to be real close to the second heart of the neighborhood. It's going to be on the very tip of the lake that we showed you previously on the video. There's even a wonderful beach area with some sand that you can actually take on the lake view up along here. Some wonderful park benches, a butterfly garden. So a lot of things that surround this center lake here is definitely a wow factor.
Yeah, if you're into walking and walking trails, this is a great community. There's a ton of walking trails here. I've been here at this exact spot late at night, showing homes and finishing up late. Over that way is west, and you get a nice view. There's nothing out there. That shows there's nothing out there. There's no Empire State Building out there. It shows a brilliant red sky out that way. It's absolutely gorgeous. But this is where the amenity center is. And one thing I want to touch on, I don't think I've ever really discussed this, and Alex, the perfect person to help discuss this with me. Lennar's been here a long time. There will be a turnover at some point of the HOA. Right now, the way the builders work, a new construction committee works, is it's the builder who actually is technically running the HOA. How does it transition, Alex, at some point after you get a little bit more sold? What is that threshold, and how does it work?
No, it's a great question. And the reason why I love the state of where how much Arden's been built up is because pre-construction's over, the growing pains are over, the property management's here on site, the main amenities are already set up. So the builders, there's nothing better when the neighborhood and the homeowners that live here get to see the builder leave, right? You want us to turn over that fully completed neighborhood that you've been a long time waiting, and we're almost there, which is great for new homeowners. You don't have to wait those 7 past years that all these other residents have. And once we get about 90% owner occupied, we're excited to turn it over to the homeowners. You get to run the HOA the way that you see fit. You get to budget out the budget the way that you feel that's necessary. And we're thrilled because it's right around the corner for you all.
So maybe you have this question. If you don't, I know some of you at least thinking in the back of your mind. So what happens when you guys move out, Mr. Lennar, and are you going to raise our HOA fees? How did you guys structure the fee, and what can they expect when it's turned over? Will there be an increase in cost? I mean, HOAs go up. I don't think people realize that necessarily. HOAs do go up each year with at least inflation, but you guys have sort of priced it as if you were full. Am I right on that?
Yeah, so there's a few things with the budget, right? This past budget is really smart. We have the employees already in place, which is a big expense that a lot of HOAs don't take account for. Can it go up? Certainly. But the good part is you guys will be in control to be able to dictate the cost analysis. And the wonderful part is that there's over 2,300 total homes in this neighborhood. So that's a lot of families and residents contributing to this budget to hopefully build a quick, steady reserves to help maintain the beauty of this neighborhood.
Awesome. So as you know, here at Living in Palm Beach, Florida, we cover the good, the bad, the ugly, the pros and the cons. So, and I'd like to think that, I know some of you have said this to us, that we have shown you and enlightened you on the topic of CDDs. What can we expect? Is Arden a CDD, and what can we expect in terms of CDD fees here in Arden?
Yeah, we're starting to see that a lot more common in Southeast Florida. What happens is that they put basically a bond that's over the property for new construction developments, which I totally understand where the cities are coming from when they do that. They want basically a jump start for the growth of each city, especially how new Loxahatchee is. Loxahatchee's been rural for years now, and now with all these wonderful residential communities that are being built up, they felt that it was necessary to basically have all the homeowners chip in for that growth, right? Brand new schools, police department, fire department, roadway improvements. You want that to happen because there's nothing better than being proud of the city that you come from. And I think it's warrantable. And don't worry, it's quite affordable. Each CDD cost is depending on what type of home that you buy. So get with Ray and I, and we'll be happy to clear up what that cost might look like.
Very good. Thank you, Alex.
No, of course.
New construction, Palm Beach, Arden, paradise here in South Florida.